Story time, it's my favorite time, spending time reading with you. Welcome to another story time with Gam Gam. Let's see what we have for today. Welcome back to Story Time with Gam Gam. And we have a fun story to read today. This is a New York Times #1 bestseller, Goodnight construction site. And this was written by Sherry Dusky Kinker and Tom Lichtenheld. Goodnight construction site. See the moon sleeping up there? Down in the big construction site, the tough trucks work with all their might to build a building, make a road, to get the job done load by load. Can you spot all the different equipment that's there? You've got a cement truck, you've got a bulldozer, you've got a crane, you've got a dump truck, and then you've got a digging shovel. Very cool. The sun has set, the work is done. It's time for trucks to end their fun. So one by one they'll go to bed, to yawn and rest their sleepy heads, then wake up to another day of rough and tough construction play. See, they're all facing the sunset, getting ready for a good night's sleep. Working hard to help his team, crane truck raises one last beam. Reaching, stretching, lifting high, he swings the beam into the sky. He'll set it down right on its mark, then off to bed. It's almost dark. He'll slowly fold his boom back in, and then with one last sleepy grin, he tucks himself in nice and tight, then cuddles up and says good night. Shh. Good night, crane truck. Good night. Do you see there in what you could think of as his hands? He's holding a little teddy bear and a twinkle star at the end of his crane. That's cool, isn't it? Makes him seem almost human. Spinning, churning all day long, cement mixer sings his whirly song. Now yawn he's weary and so dizzy from the fun that keeps him busy. With one last spin, he pours the load. He's ready now to leave the road. He takes a bath, gets shiny bright, pulls up his chute, and turns off his light. So he's pulled in his chute there at the end, so he's not going to let any more cement come out. Now he's all bright and shiny red. Pretty cool. He cuts his engine, slows his drum, and sweet dreams of twirly fun. Good night, cement mixer. Good night. You see, he's got his blankie over his back. Just like we do sometimes, right? Dump truck loves to work and load. He carries loads both big and small. Look at that tiny one, little rock bouncing out. He moves the dirt from place to place, then dumps it with a happy face. One final load spins on the heap. Crunch. Now dump truck's tired and wants to sleep. He lowers his bed, locks his gate, rests his wheels. It's getting late. He dims his lights, then shuts his doors, and soon his engine slows to snore. Shh. Good night, dump truck. Good night. What letter is that you see coming from the dump truck going across the building site? The letter Z for snoring. cool. Pushing with his mighty blade, Bulldozer works to smooth the grade. He clears the way to level ground and fills the air with thunderous sound. Roar! Can you roar loud? Why don't you give it a try? No one's as tough and strong as he, but now he's sleepy as can be. Oh, he's got one last rock to move there, and a little birdie sitting on his shovel, on his blade. He puffs some smoke out of his stack, turns off his engine, drops his track. He curls into his soft dirt bed and dreams of busy days ahead. Shh. Good night, Bulldozer. Good night. He's all cuddled into the dirt there, isn't he? Scooping gravel, dirt, and sand, excavator shapes the land. He digs and lifts throughout the day. Arrgh! But now it's time to end his play. A few more holes to dig and soon he'll roll to bed beneath the moon. So what shapes do you see there in that he's dug? He has a long rectangle, a wide rectangle, a circle, and then there's that heap of dirt in the middle that almost looks like a pyramid. He's very busy and creative. Now he lets out a big yawn. Do you see that yawn? Oh! He twirls upon his bumpy track, pulls up his boom, stretches his back. He sets his scoop down on the ground and snuggles up without a sound. Shh! Good night, excavator. Good night. These big trucks, so tough and loud, they work so hard, so tough and proud, so rough and proud. Tomorrow is another day, another chance to work and play. Turn off your engines, stop your tracks, relax your wheels, your stacks and backs. No more huffing and puffing, team. It's time to rest your heels and dreams. Construction site, all tucked in tight. The day is done. Turn off the light. Great work today. Now, say it with me. Shh. Good night. Can you wish the construction site good night? Good night. I hope that you enjoyed this story. Construction site, good night. Good night to you. Sleep tight. I love you.